4 years. They have said 4 years can change your life. And that essentially is done at a college or university. Nowadays, there are many avenues to make a career, but for those who still want to go through college, go through university, I would just like to provide some tips to get you the best experience that you can ever get at college. Let's go. Sup peeps, my name is Kirby and you're watching Kickback with Curbs. And today we're going to be diving into a 4-part college/university series, which is the ABCs of college. I do think I am a college expert, if you will, because I've gotten to work at 6 different institutions, as well as I have been in college for quite some time. I wanted to share this knowledge with you, but since I am now long and gone from the university days, I wanted to get someone fresh on the scene. And today with us, we have my sister, Sydney. Sydney, everybody.
Hello. Hi, my name is Sydney Gilmore. My major in college is communications right now. And I go to a very small private school in Dallas, Texas.
And along the way, I'm going to have Sydney give some of her input on what she feels about college because she has finished her first semester. So the first letter, A, is for atmosphere. And when it comes to any environment, you want to be around an atmosphere where the energy is vibing with you. Whether it's a very studious institution, going more into research, or more technical college, you want to look for something that is more your speed. So in terms of atmosphere, Sydney, what would you say the atmosphere of your university kind of leads toward? More like academics or more like activities?
Academics definitely is something that the college I go to definitely strives for it to achieve. All A's is something that, of course, everybody wants to have, but in college, I think that's kind of getting taken for granted a little because now you're like, oh, I have freedom. I can do this and this and this. It's still just like high school in a sense where you still have to learn, you still have to study, and college work is a little harder than high school. And you can't just get by getting by.
Couldn't have said it better. Moving on over, we have B, which is books, which seems kind of self-explanatory. Books or even ebooks or PDFs or attachments, any real like file and or resource that you need to read and study up on your topics while you are at college. Most people kind of go the bookstore route when it comes to getting your books. There are also plenty of different ways you can get your book for a cheaper price. Because Sydney, can you confirm that college books are a little pricey, a little up there, if I do say so myself?
Yes, college books are definitely expensive, but the college I go to, all of our books are online, so all of our books are free.
Oh, well, that is great. Well, for those who cannot get your books for free online, one, I am so sorry for you, and I wish you all the best. But there are some places where you can go to get some discounted books. One of them being eBay. eBay actually has a large selection of already used or lightly used books. And your bookstore also has kind of the same portfolio, or those that are at bigger universities tend to have them. So I would say go to your bookstore, see if there are ways that you can get the book that you need for a reduced price, and or the PDF version sometimes is cheaper to have. Now, some books you might need to print out, so I will say be knowledgeable about how big your book is, because if it's 700 pages and you have to pay 10 cents a page to print,
not worth it.
Not really worth it. So see what is the best fit for you. And of course, there's those QR codes or access codes that you might not be able to get around, but I would still say ask and see what you can get. Next up, we have C for clubs. And I'm not talking about the which you probably can't even get into until closer to the end of your college experience, depending on your state. But we're talking about actual organizations and clubs on campus that you can join. These can be academic based, these can be hobby based, these can be even sports based, like club sports where you get to like move around. Clubs are a good way for you to get to know people on campus, kind of explore your networking connections while doing something that you might, enjoy or get used to. For example, you used to be a dancer at school and now you're not really on the dance team at your college or university. Well, there's still a lot of dance clubs and a lot of cultural clubs that you can join that has kind of those aspects for dance. And that was just one example. There's many other things that you can do while on campus. Sid, what are some clubs that you have on your campus?
So some clubs that we have is obviously we have cheerleading, we have a dance club, we have Royal Court, which I'm a part of. I'm Miss Freshman of our Royal Court.
Okay.
And we also have different clubs that are coming in the spring semester. We have this club called Triple C, where it's basically a communications club. We have media, we have filmmakers, we have singers, we have artists. Whatever you got, you're meant for this club. Especially if you're on a big campus, you need to try to stand out as much as possible.
No, indeed. Couldn't have said it better, because clubs are something that you can add to your resume while in university. You might not have a lot of time to be doing other jobs, but extracurriculars that are close to campus where you have access to, that is something that you can look forward to. And Sydney kind of mentioned that some clubs kind of start in the spring. They might not be available when you come starting in fall. So looking at the clubs in advance, once you get your feet on the actual campus, is a great way to put yourself ahead of the game so that you're ready, you know what you need in terms of references and other information. Moving on, we have D for due dates. Now, this is not just for your actual academic due dates, because you might have like Canva or Blackboard or some type of like student portal that has all of your academic due dates listed. This can also include the due dates for the clubs we talked about earlier in terms of deadlines to submit applications, as well as deadlines and due dates for internships. If you're looking to apply for a job on campus or going into the summer or the next semester, you need to know what the timeline is and put that on your calendar. Depending on what university you go to, you might be using Google softwares, while others might be using Microsoft. And some people just like using their phone and have their own organization apps on it. So just know what works best for you in terms of getting notified, and make sure you have those due dates to a T in that respective space.
And if you don't have a club on your campus that you want to join, you can make your own club.
We have E, which stands for eat. Now, I'm looking at you dead in your soul, because I have met, worked with, and have been that student who is, doing the all-nighters, trying to study, trying to go to all the social extracurricular outside of school events, and you kind of like forget to eat. Maybe not in the sense of like eating all the time, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but you might be eating like really late, foods that aren't really like good for your system. So I would just say take a second and see what is accessible at your actual college campus. Do you have a cafeteria? Do you have some like external things like Starbucks or a student-led sandwich shop? Like, see what is there for you, know your diet, know how you would like to eat or your overall schedule when it comes to food, and try to implement that as much as possible. This is not only for your health, but it is for your energy. When people do their all-nighters, they're like, oh, I am Hercules, I have my caffeine, I can do anything. And then you crash, because it's not the nutrients that you need to let your body rest, relax, and revitalize with the foods and leafy greens that you need. So please do not forget to eat. All right, 2 more topics for this video. But before we continue, what from these ABCs do you think that you can provide information and advice for? Please feel free to go in the comments and drop those there so that we can help other peeps see what they need or see what they can start getting into at their college or university. To F, we have fraternities and sororities. Now, we did mention clubs earlier, so this is more on the Greek side. Fraternities and sororities, there's multiple councils, there's cultural ones, and there's also business professional or more professional Greeks. So there is many options in terms of fraternities and sororities that you can access at your university. For example, at my university, I was actually a part of AK Psi, which is a national business fraternity. And it's called fraternity, even though it was co-ed, but that is something there. But there's a ton of, social fraternities and sororities. I know at my university, we had fraternities that were under IFC, CPA, we had NPHCs, we had MCU, or those groups. You can find people of the same interests and backgrounds as you, and you can start that networking connection there. Meanwhile, the social ones can also expand your network in terms of people that you get to know, and most of those social fraternities and sororities have a community service aspect to them. So if you are one to like volunteering and also want to be connected on a national or international level, that is something that you can do through the social fraternities and sororities. Do your due diligence to look into that. Sid, on your campus, what type of like Greek social and or professional orgs do you have?
So at my college, I go to HBCU, so we have the Divine Nine on our campus.
That's actually really cool because our mom actually, when she was on campus at her university, she did pledge a sorority that was in the NPHC. So that's really cool. Last up for this video, we have G, which stands for games. Now, this is the sports at your university: basketball, football, soccer, lacrosse, Quidditch, freaking cricket, pickup. Like, there's so many sports, a lot, so many sports that you can go to. And as a student, most of the times you have free tickets or discounted tickets to go. So why don't you want to root for your home team? Where's your school spirit?
School spirit is definitely the most important because at the end of the day, you are paying for that institution, so you want to get more bang for your buck. So definitely try to go to more sport outings, and that's also can connect you to different opportunities and networking events.
And I can definitely say when I was still at my universities for grad and undergrad, I was one to go to the games. Also, as I mentioned in one of my other videos, I was a mascot, so I was kind of required to go to the games, but still a great time. But if you haven't seen that video yet, please feel free to click on it. I'll have it linked in this video and in the caption below for you to check it out. All right, peeps, that is the end of this video where we talked about the first part of the college series. If you want to add suggestions to our A through G first tips, feel free to drop them in the comments. Or if you want to try to guess what our next alphabet letters will be related to for college and university advice, feel free to give your guess. And then in the next video that has that letter, see if you got it right. But Sydney, thank you so much for being with us today. Where can people find you?
Follow me at Sydney Tyler Gilmore and click that link in the bio to get some merch.
All right, and until next time, adios for now.